unraveling dark secrets, a masked man, mysterious confessions, and ignored warnings.
And it's not like we don't know his name. This guy has a YouTube channel. This guy's name is Ronald A. Lopez. And he confessed. He confessed whether it was an accident or not. This guy literally confessed. Now, I want to show you real quick his page because either he's just a wackadoodle or, well, either way, he's a wackadoodle. Now, this guy's got a YouTube channel. He's around the streets of YouTube. He's going from channel to channel. He said, I am not a woman. You know how many of us are speculating that a woman has pretty eyelashes and it's behind the, we think it's a woman. Well, he went on a small channel and said, hey, I'm not a woman. And he gave the coordinates. And the crazy thing is the coordinates actually line up with a person named Ronald Lopez. That's a bit older than it shows that he is. And I got to tell you, look at his neck, look at his face, look at how he covers it up. You're going to see this video where every time you see this man, he's always like this. And we wonder, why is that guy? Why is he so tucked in? Why is it? And that's a good possibility, but we're going to go over it. And you guys can't unsee what I show you. I can't unsee what I saw when I was looking for this. Now, look at that. Look at that guy's face. It looks like a damn mask. Okay, if you look in the dead middle of it, his face looks like a mask. And we're like, oh, this guy had a mask underneath, blah, blah, blah. He's got pretty eyelashes. And he confessed and gave his coordinates. So when I show you what I have to show you, then you're going to say, oh, man, I can't unsee that. Law enforcement needs to look at it. Now, here's the kicker. This channel called the FBI to give them the information, the coordinates, all of that. And they ignored him. They ignored him like they did in the Thomas Karras case in Madeline Soto. Thomas Karras called in. He saw Stephen Stearns on the side of the road, and they just said, yeah. Well, that's what they did. So you're going to hear about that today. We've got two separate new channels that you guys probably never heard of. Maybe you did, but I hadn't. All right. Nancy's house is turned into an estate sale. Watch you now. And that's what I'm saying. Now, listen. Even if this were the masked man, I got to tell you, a lot of people are still pointing the finger at Annie and Tommaso. Maybe it was a for hire or something that somebody profited off of, because this man certainly didn't profit off of anything. And what he did with her body, who knows? And even if it's not Ronald Lopez, somebody went to that door, took her out of the house, and we have some blood drops. Yeah, we've got a circus. What's up, SoCal? How you doing? All right. So I'm trying to circus it down just a little bit. I know. I'm telling you, I told you what was going to happen. I said, as soon as she's missing for a certain amount of time, and it's at that time, we're at 61 days, they're going to start having to sell the house or move in or whatever. They got to pay it. You can't just let it go there. Who benefits the most? Oh no, I've never thought it was a lone masked man. I've never said it's not a lone ranger. Never. But this damn guy's face irks me, and he looks like he has a mask on, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So let's get into the case today. What a sick fit. Exactly. I'm going to talk about all of this stuff today, so don't worry. This is the guide that I got on here. I put a side-by-side that I zoomed in on in Photoshop and Illustrator from different angles, etc. And then I put that one at the bottom. That's the one where FBI has a hand sketch drawing of a Hispanic man, but I think they just have the brown color skin incorrect. Or if you look down here at the very bottom of the center, he's brown in some of them, like tan brown. All right. So we either got a wackadoodle, somebody that's actually in it, or, well, you guys we're going to talk about that. That's why I'm here, because there's a lot of misinformation out on that internet, guys. And I want to inform you correctly. And if we come into a full circle back to Tommaso, which I heard, by the way, that he has, I don't know if that's correct or not, but literally that he has, did they say 50 grand? That he has $50,000 that he owes for gambling. Oh no, 50 million. Some people are claiming that Tommaso Cioni had a $50 million gambling debt. Now it's unconfirmed, but they're talking about that on Ashley Banfield and Chris McDonough. And Chris McDonough is still convinced that the family's involved. Okay. Now, people speculate that it was a for hire, but it's just like the Twilight Zone. All right. So let's get into it. I told you guys, what's up, Crime Time Grime? Drop your link if you'd like. They were nice, but I think ignored they did, and we're gonna get to that. Don't worry. And yes, Mab. When I saw this, I said, you know what? We need to look into this. And now that you see it, you cannot unsee it. Thank you, Mab. I've got a team of ladies that helps me. So thank you. Thank you. That, and we got so much more. All right, so much more today. So let's get into it. Let's get into the updates. Let's get into some interesting things. Let's talk about the circus, and let's talk about and see this guy literally confessing on a live stream and everything that goes with it. All right, guys, come on and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. Once we get into it, I'll gift some memberships for 5 of you. Okay, I got 5 on it. Let's go. Yep, man. I got you. Wait till you see today's episode. Did you get your book today, Cool and Chris? Anyway, I've always had cars fixed, blah, blah, blah. All right, my buddy owns a shop. He always takes care of me. And why they're keeping the house up with the thing, I'm not even going to read that whole thing because you're absolutely right. I've been saying that since day one. I'm not going to give it away. I'm not giving it away yet. All right, let's get to it. I'm not going to tell you guys can discuss it amongst yourselves because I want to get to the updates and then we'll get to that. I just got a couple of quick updates. I want to make sure that nobody says, hey, Jay, did you see that there was a first responder that was inexperienced and Brian Enton got an interview? And yes, I'm very aware. The interview's coming out tonight, but let's do a recap quickly of that and day 61.
Over his handling of the high-profile Nancy Guthrie case. The mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie was last seen January 31st. And now in a News Nation exclusive, senior national correspondent Brian Enton just interviewed somebody close to that case who claims the first responders didn't know anything they were doing when they went to the Guthrie home.
The first investigators who responded to Nancy Guthrie's home were inexperienced, and the supervisor had never investigated a homicide before, we are told. This brand new information is coming from a source close to the investigation who sat down with me for an exclusive interview on News Nation, giving new insight into the sheriff's department that's been forced into the national spotlight because of this case. We've protected this person's identity for fear of retaliation for speaking out. From what you know,
now we're talking about the
initial people,
the incompetent case and the way it was gathered and collected, why that door mat is still sitting there. Now, Clementine, he is not in custody because police ignored. They completely are ignoring it. But I want you to know, Mab wants you to know, Patriot Pride wants you to know, and so what is it? Something sleuths. I always forget it. It's all in my chat. Yeah, a lot of people want this to be out there so you guys can see what we see. Right? I'm going to get to it. I promise. But right now, this is why the case has unfolded. And by the way, I want you guys to realize that Barney Fife, the sheriff is coming up with a recall election soon. I think it's in a few days. We're going to talk about that. Thank you, ma'am. Sleuth Intuition. I can't remember every name unless I write it down. All right.
Who responded inexperienced?
The people that were there on the scene were not tenured.
Yes.
Homicide detectives. They didn't have
Okay, they didn't have a lot of experience. They weren't tenure. And yes, dear Savannah, Kathy, that's what we gotta call this. Sleuth Intuition said, dear Savannah, we want her to see this. All right, so hashtag dear Savannah. Check this out.
a lot of experience in homicide at that point, to include the supervisor, who, from my understanding, never investigated homicide. before being installed as the supervisor.
They're having an election, and I'm about to update you on that when it is. They are having an election, and I gotta tell you, Kimberly, 360 out of 360 anonymously voted. They all voted to get him the hell out of there. All right. The voice is a possible law enforcement agent that's telling us, and you know, cops can't turn on cops. You tell on your fellow cop, you're a dead man. All right. I'm just saying.
For the homicide unit.
So wait, so the supervisor who first responded to Nancy Guthrie's house had never investigated a homicide?
Correct.
How is that possible?